midweek technical analysis video. So jumping straight into things here, marking up where the chart originally opened up, which was this candlestick here. As you can see, throughout the entirety of the Monday, all the way into the start of the London session on Tuesday, we saw bullish momentum carrying price to a new all-time high of 3,870. From there, price retraced and tested as a support level on the level of around 3,792, give or take. Then throughout, as we kept closer and closer to that London session, throughout the London session and then closer to the New York session, price then rose, creating a higher low in terms of this entire bullish move, as you can see from these sort of lows here. We created a higher low at this level. And then from there, price has continued on bullish with the most recent all-time high at 3,895 and the most recent higher low at 3,870. So the reason why this is interesting, where price is finding a low and consolidating, as you can see, the size of these wicks indicate to us that on the lower time frames we are seeing some consolidation. For example, you can see that price is beginning to sort of move sideways in this entire area here. So it's interesting because obviously this all-time high was created here at around 3,870 and price tested this level a couple times before obviously we saw our break and a new all-time high created. And then you can now see that retest, indicating to us that we are going to see a continuation of this overall bullish momentum, perhaps carrying price to somewhere around this ceiling here. So our overall anticipation that we're going to expect for gold is going to be for price to continue up, to go ahead and test this previous all-time high of 3,895. If we see a break above that level, we're going to anticipate gold to push somewhere to that 950 level. The push could either just be a straight line up like this, or we could potentially see some sort of price action looking in this sort of fashion. So there is obviously going to be the opportunity or the possibility for a bearish move to take place, and that would look something like this. So on the lower time frames, we have created this sort of order block here. If I go ahead and mark this in for you nicely, you can see that we've created this sort of order block, indicating to us that buyers and sellers are fighting within this area here. But the overall conclusion of each candlestick has been the buyers have taken control and completely squeezed the body of that candle, indicating to us that buyers are still in control of the market. However, there are some sellers that are entering the market, as you can see, these slight retracements. So with that being said, there is definitely going to be the possibility. So the possibility and the for a bearish scenario to take place, we're going to expect this scenario. Or we need this scenario to take place. We need price to finish somewhere below this level of 3,870. If price finishes below that level, we're going to anticipate price to continue somewhere close to that 3,790 area, this previous all-time high that we just spoke about. Obviously, with the current price action that we are seeing, the most likely thing that we're going to see is for price to push up to this level, perhaps break back down and test it one more time, and then continue on to that 3,950. Eventually, it's inevitable that we will see gold hit some sort of ceiling at around the level of 4,000 level. Obviously, that's all in due time though, because we are trading roughly 900 pips away from this level, or 800 pips away from this level as we speak. So it's definitely still a long way to go for that 4,000 level to be hit. But with the current price action we are seeing, for example, if I go down to an hour 4, with the price action that we are seeing for a long while now, is overall bearish. Overall has been bullish. So sort of from this low here, this triple bottom low in October, sort of this time in 2022, so this time 3 years ago, we have been in that bullish move with price just moving higher and higher and higher. One thing I will say, however, as you can see, when price does enter within these new all-time highs, we sort of create that final all-time high, and then price begins to move sideways. As you can see here, price created a new all-time high and price began to move sideways. We created an all-time high here and price began to move sideways. We created an all-time high here and price began to move sideways. So it's inevitable that at some point we are definitely going to see some consolidation, something along the lines of this, and then another push up. So that's why we're anticipating that level of 4,000 being that sort of final that final high before we then see some consolidation. However, price is definitely still possible for price to start consolidating somewhat like this before we see that next push up. So regarding our midweek technical analysis, I feel like we have covered everything that we need to go over. Let's go ahead and have a closer look at the chart. So yeah, that's going to be our overall midweek technical analysis. Obviously, we had a lot of sort of text fundamentals inside of our start of week / post week market review that we created and sent in late hours on the Monday. So there's a lot of key information inside there as well, but just sort of recapping and re-establishing our anticipation. So an overall bias for the market is still going to say the same. Overall anticipation, overall bias is bullish. We're going to expect that most recent all-time high to be broken through at some point this week, maybe the early days of next week, but it's inevitable that that level is going to be broken through at some point. However, obviously we do have that bearish scenario that could play out. It just depends on the next couple hours and how price reacts to this level of 3,870. So with that being said, that's going to be our midweek technical analysis video. As always, I hope you have all enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.